one of the Christopher Nolan is the best director in the world edits that perfectly captured why I don't like him.
Yeah.
And it was someone in an interview telling him, I believe it was a tweet or something that was like, I don't understand Tenet or whatever. And they're like, Christopher Nolan, what do you say to this kind of comment? And he said, he laughed, ha ha ha.
Superior laugh.
Well, superior laugh, ha ha ha. Little dollar signs coming out of his mouth. And said, I would say, don't try to understand it. Just feel it.
Haven't seen violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway! Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Do you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
Welcome back to Help, We're Being Repressed.
Yay.
And today we have an extra repressed person.
Super repressed,
Seamus.
in fact. Because
we're abusing him by involving him in this.
I am more than repressed today.
Because he had his wisdom teeth removed and has a cold that is hurting his poor little throat and he can't talk and we're making him do it anyway. Because that's what sisters do.
Yeah. I was coerced into doing this.
Well, we've always been coerced, so I feel like this is fair.
Yeah, but it was also, I had already said that I was going to, if you guys watched Interstellar.
So he did it to himself.
But I just didn't.
There's the topic reveal.
Yeah, I just revealed it early on.
That was
a very poor reveal.
So we're gonna have a drum roll.
Let's get right to it.
Yeah, okay. Interstellar.
Anywho, last week we talked about a movie with 1.5 million reviews on IMDb, and Bees decided to top that this week with 2.5, I believe. And this is also one of the most common responses I get to what is your favorite movie. Because out there's a lot of variation, but there's a couple movies that surface on the reg, and this is one of them.
It's definitely what all the film bros.
All the film bros.
Mm-hmm. So we're here to tell you why it should not be your favorite movie.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That is why we're here.
Which might not shock you.
Because haters gonna hate, and that's us.
All right. So, we'll start with technical value of the movie?
Sure.
Or should we give it like an out of 10 review first?
Well, first, all those 2.5 million people averaged out to an 87%. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty darn high for this movie.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty darn high.
Yeah, an 8.7 out of 10 is pretty high for that many votes.
How would you rate it? That's a question to both of you. Not to me. I don't have to respond.
To you.
5? 5.5?
I might give it a tiny bit more credit just because of the responses it's gotten.
6?
Yeah, 5.5, 6.
5.5. I'm going to go with 5.5.
I like 5.5 to 6.
And there's things about it that are beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is also... So we're going to be going over our categories that Dad has introduced, which is technical value, response value, and objective value. And I expect we will also loop in other Christopher Nolan things as we talk about it. So just real fast before we jump into Interstellar, what Christopher Nolan movies have you guys watched?
There's the one with the magicians.
Prestige.
The Dark Knight.
Inception.
1 and 2. I've not. Mm-hmm. Inception. I think that might be it for me.
I feel like I'm...
now
Inception.
Now Interstellar.
Inception.
Said that?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Whatever. You were too quiet, actually. Speak up.
Seamus. Come on.
I'm just going to be an observer from now on.
No. Not allowed.
Okay, I feel like there's another one, but I don't know. There's a couple. We've seen some of the big ones. So, I'm not a fan. But let's start off. Interstellar, technical value. Ameera, kick us off.
I mean, the cinematography is genuinely very good. So if we want to start with like the positive side of technical, I think that's where you have to go because it's very beautifully shot. Especially, I mean, some of the space is just space is awesome.
Space is already awesome, so you just have the camera out there.
But then like even the framing and the way they like, I don't know, the perspective on things. Sometimes the zoom out. It's very
when it comes to visuals, Christopher Nolan is really good.
Well, I think that's just partially because he is aiming for, and I think you might bring this up later, for the feeling of something. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to visuals, if you capture a feeling with the visuals, that's what you're going for. Like, that is an impressive thing to do. So unlike, like, plot or stuff like that, where I think it needs to have more concrete, like, well, why
Flesh.
is it like that?
Instead of feeling.
Cinematography is meant to invoke feeling.
Yeah, and if you're going, that's a quote from himself, is the fact that he's saying, don't try to understand my movies, just feel it.
See, I did find that funny that I saw Christopher Nolan edit as one of the Christopher Nolan is the best director in the world edits that perfectly captured why I don't like him.
Yeah.
And it was someone in an interview telling him, I believe it was a tweet or something that was like, I don't understand Tenet or whatever. And they're like, Christopher Nolan, what do you say to this kind of comment? And he said, he laughed, ha ha ha.
Superior laugh.
Superior laugh, ha ha ha. Little dollar signs coming out of his mouth. And said, I would say, don't try to understand it. Just feel it. No, but yes, when you come to visuals, when it comes to just visual
They're
art,
supposed to invoke feeling.
yes,
Which
invoke
visuals can do that
and
easily.
Right.
being able to invoke feeling is a skill.
And he's very good at visuals.
So yes, on the technical side, the visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my big positive for the film.
Next, we can say the soundtrack, which had good things and had bad things.
I mean, the organ was just epic.
the sound is great.
Yes.
I like the sound. But
For parts of it.
2 hour and 49-minute movie, when you have this blaring organ every once in a while, and it actually isn't that significant in places when you're still blaring the organ and blaring it and it is a very cool sound. It's become really iconic.
And there's some moments in the film where it
Yeah,
works.
and they do
Yeah,
use it really
the
well
main
sometimes. But
issue
they just,
there-
that's all they use, and it's just on.
The main issue with the soundtrack, despite being very cool in places, was the fact that it was a singular mood the entire time. And they had a couple moments of silence, which was really good idea when you're emphasizing
Actually,
different
some of
things
the
in
moments
space.
of silence-
Some of the moments of silence were epic, but if it was not quiet, it was this moody, emotional, stressful sound over all of
Yeah.
it from beginning to end. And you're like, we can't do that. You can't just keep my hackles up for 3 hours straight because I lose the ability to feel whether something is significant or not. And you don't get to do, but everything is significant. It's just like,
Is that Batman?
So-
Or you just have a cold.
there were no happy moments of soundtrack, no like chill moments of soundtrack, no
Chill
just like
moments. They did some faint things in the
no, but it was all like a little emotional even then.
yeah.
So there were quiet moments of soundtrack, but there were no there was not very much variation in tone. There was variation in volume.
Yeah, this is something we have talked about before where you're like, if you have it turned up to 11 the entire time, it's going to stop feeling like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get accustomed to it. It's going to be like a 5. You know?
And the other thing is you typically like at the start of movie to have a feeling of normalcy. So I know that the world is ending, but when you have a situation like this, what can make the decision to leave interesting is when it's not clearly the only option. So if you are having on Earth and we're making do and people don't necessarily believe that the world is over, you think that we actually could have a chance. There's some level of comfort here. And then he has to be like, no, it's actually like this is the only shot. And it makes more sense that his daughter is like mad at him for decades after he leaves is just the option of could have stayed maybe being a thing. But I'm just saying that from the beginning, I got no sense of comfort or normalcy at any point in the entire movie.
So I think this kind of goes into the writing and acting.
Yeah, we can move into that.
And the soundtrack fits in this as well, as where we're talking about there's no normalcy, where everything was just the mood. It was very dramatic the whole time. There was no
Yeah, it's
normal
actually
moments, except for sometimes
No downbeat.
the sun seemed like pretty normal a couple times.
But it was honestly kind of jarring.
But it was jarring that
because he's the only person that's behaving kind of like a human.
It was actually funny because I was looking at some reviews and I found I was looking at a review, to be honest. And
I looked at more than one.
yeah. And someone said that Nolan said in an interview that the deeper they go into space, the more the whole movie becomes about humanity because they get more isolated and it's just on them and about human relationships and what it means to be a human being. And that kind of amused me because there's no humanity really in the film.
No.
It's because everyone is always pursuing like this deep vibe, this feeling. And I'm like, where is I mean, you said the normalcy, but I'm like, just the actual human nature of it. We just watched a film. What was it called?
Platoon.
Platoon, because my mom is doing like an Oliver Stone. I think it's Oliver Stone.
She's doing an Oliver Stone film class.
Yeah, so we watched Platoon with her, and which is a movie that I would not show children.
Yeah, do not actually.
Like at all.
Grown-ups.
Only
made for grown-ups.
Made for grown-ups is for grown-ups, but it's about Vietnam. And it's funny because everyone's in this super like suspenseful, high adrenaline situation, and
like
it's very violent and terrible.
adrenaline and tension.
But you still have human nature, where I'm like, there's the gallows humor. There's all of like,
You have dudes being dudes.
you
dudes
have a
being
lot of
dudes.
dudes being dudes.
yeah, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. But it's still people. Versus like even when everything really, really matters and it's a high stakes scenario,
Sometimes especially then.
Yeah.
people aren't going to treat it entirely seriously.
Not 100% of the time.
Right. Like, of
Yeah,
course it has to be
there's gonna
serious,
be
but
coping mechanisms, flippancy, disassociation, like any number of things that people will have a response to serious because people can't just stay serious and moody all the time.
there were like so few conversations in Interstellar that were normal.
There
There
were no jokes about death, which there would be
No,
many
there were
jokes about
there were a couple jokes about death from the robot.
The robots.
Oh,
The
yeah,
robot
the
was
robot.
joking about death.
That's not
Did joke about
human.
it,
That
but
doesn't
that wasn't
make
even
But I
human.
was like, yeah, right?
Everybody was looking at him like he was weird and tried to like put his humor settings down. I'm like, the humans would be making those jokes.
Right? I mean, it was just like very beginning when Matthew McConaughey is having the
Even
conversation with his dad.
before anything
Yeah.
serious is happening.
Right?
Before you know that he has to go on this mission that he's probably not coming back from, he's still just like talking on the porch or like talking to his kids, and he just sounds so deep and
We used to look up and wonder about our place in the stars.
just
Now we just look down and think about our place in the dirt.
And
I'm like,
thing
that's
is,
normal to say.
Not all of those lines that they say are bad,
Yeah, it's just that it's
Some of them
100% of it.
but some of them really aren't, except for they don't actually have meaning because they don't use them right.
Yeah, and because it's
And
constant.
because that's all they say. I was like,
yeah.
it doesn't have any contrast.
You can't really relate to these people at all.
No.
No, because they're not acting like
Any
people.
normal, yeah, it's not a normal interaction.
See, that's something you can compare to like other space movies. We just watched and we podcasted on Project Hail Mary, where it's not a deep, crazy, high quality movie.
It's pretty
But what you have is someone acting like a person,
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Which made him very likable, very
Yes, because you're like, how do people act when they get isolated in a life or death situation? And you're like, a lot of people like that. So it's like we have our moments of panic and we have our moments of emotion, but we are not made for a permanent state of emotion and panic.
And
No, you actually can't sustain that.
I think also I just remembered another Christopher Nolan movie I've seen,
Ooh, yeah.
Dunkirk.
So yeah.
Okay.
And I just remembered thinking about how Nolan really likes building up these things that become more and more dramatic and more like high stakes, and he's done that in multiple of his movies. He does that in multiple. He does it in The Dark Knight, he does it in Interstellar, does it in Inception, and where everything's building up and getting more and more dramatic and riding the high, where the dialogue, maybe it's getting like they might not be joking at a certain point, but the fact that they've been serious the whole time,
Yeah.
and now they're still just the same in the
But
very
more
high stakes
serious.
you
situation.
don't feel the increase.
But I literally just thought of that in my head. Oh, Nolan just likes building it up, but then this one like big drop off. So like Inception, he does that.
Yeah.
He kind of does it twice, maybe 3 or 4 times. Like,
But I like that point because it's like, okay, so you can't feel the seriousness of the situation because they started talking like that at the very beginning when nothing was happening.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean about the normalcy. Is you could have created a sense of normalcy and comfort, and then you break it. Instead of, no, we're just riding high the entire time, even when you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's just like, nothing's gone wrong yet.
It was just
well,
very,
the world's ending.
yeah.
Yeah, but people adjust to that kind of thing really fast.
And
Wrong.
No, I mean, like,
our
when you
experience
spend, I'm just saying, when you spend
Isn't it?
years in a certain state, humans adapt really
Who
fast.
defined man as a creature who could
Adapt to anything.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But I know that's
Someone
a thing.
important. I'm sure. It wasn't
Yeah.
just me.
No, it wasn't just you. And that's true. It's like man can adapt to
But
most
it's
anything.
like to great things and to terrible things. We get accustomed
We
so
get
very
used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're spending
Speaking of us watching this movie, immediately get used to just the constant soundtrack. And then you don't know, like,
yeah,
oh, is this part important?
and you're like,
Yeah.
It was just a very fun experience watching it right after Platoon, because I'm like, technically, if you're looking at what's happening in this film and you're like, okay, so the world's dying, people are lying and trying to kill each other, and there's this like desperate gamble to try to save the world, so it's supposed to be this very emotional situation. And I was like, I felt so much less in this movie than I did watching Platoon,
which is technically smaller
way
scale.
less. Well, technically it is very small, and I think they didn't manage to take like a smaller scale emotion, because I feel like we can understand an emotion and feel it more if it's something that we can relate to or are closer to.
This is when I've talked to Dad about writing. Is when you're trying to make someone feel something that they've never felt before, you always have to go to familiar feelings.
Right.
So I'm writing a ghost story, and I'm trying to make this. No, I'm not. Hypothetically, this is an example from like 4 or 5 years ago. I was writing a ghost story, and I wrote this thing, and I'm just like, but how do I make you feel it when this is a very foreign, supernatural situation?
Yeah.
And Dad was like, have a hand grab her ankle.
Yeah, like have some.
And you're like, ugh.
You gotta bring tangible things that everyone
But not just tangible that everyone's experienced.
Yes.
So we can't comprehend. This is why like Thanos is stupid. Is because you're like, half of everyone is dead. And I'm like, cool.
I've not even watched a single movie with Thanos in it, so
I watched
me neither. So
I watched the first one with the Infinity Stones, which is but Thanos wasn't in that yet. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, he's stupid. No, just because we can't emotionally comprehend something like that. You're like, half of everyone died. Don't you feel bad? I'm like, not really.
yeah.
I don't feel bad at all, actually. But
it's distant.
But show me something close
Also,
up and personal.
didn't they just like disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even like gruesome.
But I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, in a movie, you've got a battlefield of corpses. You're just like dead bodies everywhere. Versus a little kid's coffin. And you have a scene that's just in the background is a million dead bodies, versus we're just focusing on this very small, very personal, very painful thing right in front of you. And you're like, which do you feel an automatic response for?
It might be why people really hate watching dogs dying in movies.
Yeah, it feels
People have
really
dogs.
real.
Yeah, because you also experience dogs dying.
As many just people die.
Yeah, it's like your experience.
You have a dog right
Yeah,
there.
a lot of people, their
That's actually a good example.
yeah, their experience with seeing someone die is probably limited to movies and video games. Because even if you've had a loved one die, you might not have been there watching it happen. And like, so everyone has in America specifically, has a pretty limited personal experience with that. But
Especially like dying a gruesome death.
yes,
It's
especially
like,
a gruesome
if you,
death, not like a
I feel like
hospital
it's a lot easier to depict and be sad, like, I don't know, disease or like that sort of thing.
Versus
It's like,
someone's
okay,
head
this is
blew up.
actually closer. Yeah, versus like, yeah,
But yes,
exploding.
the dog is like, we have dogs. We've seen dogs die.
So I feel like that
And
whole
it's so
thing
it's just
kept the emotional impact
yeah,
from really hitting
so
in this movie.
Interstellar, for the most part, was pretty zoomed out in terms of like the whole world's in danger. I'm like, okay.
See, this is why I was
See any actual suffering.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the only
saw some
depiction.
coughing.
Yes, the only depiction of active suffering you had on Earth was some coughing. I'm like, oh no, it's dirty, and the kid's coughing.
right.
But
You heard, like they
You
said,
heard that the baby died.
The son died, but
you didn't see it, and you didn't feel
But
it.
this is why it was like, this is weird.
Yeah,
Why-
but there
this
was-
is supposed to be about human nature.
There was no zoomed in suffering. Even the giant time skips, because one of the painful things of the, or supposed painful things of the movie was the fact that he had this ticking clock. That he had a daughter to go home to, because for some reason we didn't care as much about the son.
he's more secure.
The son,
Yeah, bro
I
was
liked
just
the
chilling.
son. I think that might be my favorite character.
When he's saying bye to his dad, he's like, "Can I have your truck?" But I was saying is he's got this timer, and that's part of what's supposed to be the stress.
Yeah.
Is you've got this timer. You felt none of it because he didn't experience any of it. We had hypersleep, and then we had the twisted time of the planet near the black hole, which I don't even know
I do
anyone on
think
that.
actually the best emotional part of the movie was when he's watching the video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I
seen
think
the
for the
waves,
most
too.
part, you didn't. I liked the waves, but we'll get there.
I think that segment was actually the best part of the movie.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the things you were supposed to care about, none of them were shown to you in a tangible, up close way, including the time. The time just zipped by. And then on Earth, it was like, it's dusty and the kid coughed.
Well, that's actually why I think the videos were good to have. Because
So
it did
I
give
would
you
have
something to
done more of them because they just did like one young son and then skip to him having a baby and then skip to after the baby died. And I was like, I'd give you like a couple more for like the actual time skip.
But it's already 2 hours and
Yeah.
45 minutes.
I mean, I actually think I was
Yeah,
fine
you
with
could
that
cut
part.
other things.
Yeah, probably, but
I do think them landing on the water planet or whatever. I
yeah.
don't remember what it's
The
called.
water planet was fun, though I definitely was
funny.
the time thing. I'm gonna
We'll
put
talk-
a,
put a pin
I'm
in
gonna
that.
put a pin in the science. We're gonna talk about the science later. But when it came to visiting the 3 planets, I was a wee bit confused because, for one, we should not have gone to the planet that was inside the black hole's range.
Especially first.
Well,
Yeah, no, especially first, because you're like, we could go to the other 2 and get her on the way back,
Sacrifice less time.
sacrifice less time, and potentially one of the other planets works.
so that's talking about like if you were in there, she was like, you guys made a bad decision.
No,
But
no.
The
'cause
girl,
I'm not done. I'm not done with this irrationality. I'm
I'm
just
hand it
saying.
over to Seamus after.
I'm just saying. Yes, I will. But I'm just saying you shouldn't have gone to it at all, because being in the radius of a black hole should have eliminated it as options. Because black holes expand, don't they?
so what I didn't like about that is because Dr. Brand, when they were first deciding, they didn't mention that as a problem.
Yep.
But then afterwards, it was like, actually, we can't go to the next planet because
Because
it's like
too near the black
it's
hole.
too close to the
This
black
was
hole, and that couldn't
in
be that would be a good
the scope of
idea.
the black
But
hole.
it's the fact that she said that afterwards.
Yes,
It's like,
but
you said that before.
I'm saying
Like, are you an idiot?
First,
You actually
it shouldn't
thought
have
that.
been an option. It shouldn't have been an option. Second, they shouldn't have gone at all. And then third, how is data being sent if she's only been there for a couple minutes?
'Cause
Like
minutes
because
there.
because of the times that because the reason they're going to this was that they got sent
it
a
said
positive
it was like
data.
sending endlessly. Like something happened and it was just like
It had
repeating itself.
echoed. Like
It was like echoing on itself. Here's the thing. That
Okay.
I have no idea what was going on.
Okay, but it's like
I'm
we shouldn't have
gonna ta- I'm
gone
gonna
at all,
take
and we went
that and
down.
be like,
But
sure.
then, after I have beef with that, I did actually enjoy that planet. It was a fun little setup and a fun.
You said you
little
liked the
conflict.
waves.
yeah,
waves
there's
were
also
fun.
like no way they survived that.
Well, yeah.
But they should have died. I liked them getting stuck there, but they really shouldn't have been caught by the wave because they straight up would have died. They would have been sucked under.
They just floated perfectly.
They just floated perfectly over. But it was a fun idea. It was a fun
Yeah.
I actually
plan. The girl is the genuine worst.
okay, but just
And shouldn't
about
have
the
been
positive of that part, what I did like is the touch of like the gravity was increased.
Mm-hmm.
And so having them running in the gravity, I liked that. I thought that was a good touch because
That was a good way of inducing a little stress.
yeah, because it's like they're going slow and they can't speed
Stupid
up.
Anne Hathaway just like, no, we need the data. Look at the massive wave. You can't live there. Why do you
And
need the
she's
data?
literally been there for minutes. What data?
No, I don't know how they track the data.
No,
It's
I'm
not
just
like
saying they already knew
Well,
that the time was skewed, so that would be
I thought
extremely
she said that
limited data.
afterwards. I thought she figured that out.
No, they already knew the time was skewed.
So-
when they went in, that was their whole thing of should we
part
go
of the point
down?
is she didn't realize like how dramatic it actually
Yes.
was. She didn't.
She was retarded.
Oh, yes, that's one thing.
That,
And
that's
she
a
shouldn't
different
have
thing.
been brought along. I was
did like
sitting here
the
the
waves.
entire movie. I was sitting there like, why did they bring Anne Hathaway? She is nothing but a liability.
Yeah, but I don't mind a massive wave planet.
Yeah, the wave planet was a fun
And I
idea.
like the
Necessarily
gravity.
understand how there would be a massive wave when the gravity's heavier, but I'm not a scientist. So
Moons.
Moons.
I have no idea. The black hole, maybe actually.
interesting.
True, it would if the moon was close enough to cause that level of water stuff. It would probably be
There's a
affecting
black
gravity.
hole. Gravity was
Anyways,
screwed up.
we're going down to
Because
science
gravity.
now.
Oh yeah. Not.
Okay.
So we were talking.
So we're talking about the emotions and not feeling it. Acting
Yeah,
is similar to
feel
the
about
emotions,
that?
where it was very constant and consistent.
well, Matt McConaughey Overall,
He's just Matthew
a very
McConaughey.
Dramatic Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Very slow.
I mean, I think
Western accent.
he's just one of those actors that's kind of the same, whether he's in a rom-com or like.
But he had some good moments.
Sci-fi?
But most of it, I didn't like how he gave
But
a bunch of
most of the characters were just extremely flat in behavior, where there wasn't very much variation.
Matthew McConaughey had occasionally a funny good line
Yeah.
that he managed to land.
But there weren't very many attempts of being funny. Because I do think this is the thing with Christopher Nolan. He's not known for being lighthearted, and he wants to be taken seriously, so he can't really laugh at
yeah.
himself. So there's a very sad lack of any kind of flippancy in all of his movies.
But McConaughey, I feel like his acting was fine.
Yeah.
It was all right.
I think
They chose him.
he's a good
yeah,
actor.
but he could
but
have done
it's
better
McConaughey.
if he had a better script.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was constant dramatic dialogue. So what you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to say some of those lines without just like
Where every
sending
single
it.
line
Like
is
we're doing the drama, you know. And
every single line.
yeah, so I think he did a good job
Yeah.
overall.
Then there was who are the other side characters? We have Dr. Brand and Hathaway,
Yeah, that was awful.
Well,
You
there's
have
both,
other
there's both
Professor
the,
Brand,
both the doctor.
Alfred, and
Alfred, who's in
every
all
single
of
Christopher
his
Nolan
movies.
besides Dunkirk, I think.
Yeah,
He just also seems like just
you've got Murphy, who's horrible.
Yeah, I really
the kid
yeah, the
kid
kid.
version or old version.
Both
first kid version, the way she acted.
unconvincing.
That's more right.
She-
Oh, you
well,
mean acting?
No, yeah, she seemed a little
Right.
too
Let's
old
just
to
say
be
characters.
acting like some
Yeah,
boys.
she's 10,
Should we just summarize like acting overall was like fine, kind of.
kind of stagnant, but not like aggressively
Okay,
bad.
so more like characters.
Yeah, so characters.
characters.
Murphy is a horrible name.
That does not.
I can't believe you gave that to a girl.
That doesn't matter.
No, I just have to give a throwaway. Yeah, the girls, both girls were kind of unbearable. They were seriously whimsical. So they're
They're
serious.
so irrational.
No, they're serious, but emotional. So you've got both of them would do these like whimsical smiles at nothing, like bittersweet faces. And Murphy is just like
The child annoyed me.
yeah, not acting like how a 10-year-old would actually act. And then not to mention the fact that she refused to send her father messages for decades.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
even if you could excuse a 10-year-old, I can't believe that you're in your 30s acting like this.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
It's pretty
Genuinely. And then Dr. Brand, so just the girls were not representing. Dr. Brand, who wanted to visit her crush's planet and was like, love has nothing to do with it. And then goes into a whole spiel about how love might
We'll have
be
to
a
get to that.
transcend, like,
That's less of the
transcending
character.
kind of. No, that is part of her character. Is she's
is.
constantly serious, trying to act scientific,
The
but
most irrational scientist.
fundamentally rooted in just emoting.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's not how science works.
No.
Are you sure?
Love.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mr.
Also,
Scientist.
someone might say about Murph not sending messages like, "Oh well, maybe she just didn't think he was alive anymore." Except the whole thing is she did. The whole time she's working on this thing because she actually does believe it and want it to be true, and yet she still doesn't send a single message.
Yeah, the
until
petty
she's
is
like 30.
crazy.
So, okay, before we hit like science.
Well, there's Dr. Man.
Gotta go to
Oh,
respawn.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about him.
Called it.
Oh, yeah, we totally.
We totally
yeah.
called it.
I'd seen him before they had not, and they just read the
We
movie like
clocked him.
It's suspicious.
No, the moment we were going to his planet, I was like, hey, what if he's lying to get them to come pick him
And
up?
then he's like going out with him. I'm like, he's gonna try to kill him, isn't he?
But this is also another fail for Dr. Brand is that she, like, the reason McConaughey went with that option was because when she was not talking about love, she had given a raving review to Dr. Man as the best among us. And apparently she's wrong again.
he is the best among them. He's doing it for all humanity.
Yeah, here's the thing. He was kind of
For
fun.
mankind.
he was kind
He was kind of fun because he was this, like, odd,
It's kind of autistic.
odd, kind of autistic, irrational, selfish being with this bizarre self-justification.
Yeah, with evolution.
And that was a fun character to have. I give kind of kudos to that. I don't think that was
Good
perfectly
change of pace.
delivered.
We got a new
Yeah.
character.
Yes, but
A new character.
this was a character that had a distinct flavor of
I
their
also
own.
thought he was actually more of a human being.
Yep, that was one where you're like, you don't have that flippant side, but
Partially-
this is a character that wouldn't
Partially
have that.
because
He's
of
going
the
crazy.
extreme like self-contradiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
like, I think
aggressive
this would happen.
self-contradiction and self-deception was like, this is a real person. A horrible person, but a very real person. So I appreciated that change of pace, and he's probably the only character that, other than the son, that I'd be like, that's a person, and I think that's a good, distinct flavor. Everybody else was hitting the same note a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he also didn't have enough screen time to, I think, like, continue the same note.
Yes, that's part of it. If you had had him there and he acted like that the entire movie, we would have beef. But he was a brief moment in self-destruction, and it worked out.
I just ran some thoughts in my brain as in, like, we're not even close to talking about half the stuff in this movie. It's so long.
It was ridiculously long.
Just remembering some of the things that are happening at the end.
It's like 7 minutes in. I was like, how are we
like,
like 7
We
minutes?
should move on to response.
Oh yeah, response.
Okay, well,
And then
just
we
saying,
go to
we're
objective.
putting a pin
Lot.
into, we're putting a million pins. But
It's like a movie.
we're gonna let's hit message and science at the end. Just because those are kind of fad.
And some of,
so-
some of the just beliefs going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
message. But the message and science we're
Well, I
gonna
mean, I feel like
hit
that
at the
can go
end.
into gut.
So let's
gut.
move to response and objective.
Response value. I mean, it did ridiculously
He gets points
well.
for making money.
Like,
He's-
dang.
However, though, I'm just saying, I believe he kind of failed technical value because being pretty is not enough.
Well, if people
Yeah, but response
being
value.
pretty and don't care about the
No,
writing,
but response value, there's a difference between it worked and it affected people positively.
I think there's a massive quality difference between the visuals and the actual writing and substance.
say,
Oh, for sure.
and I would say acting. Maybe he told them all just to be emotional.
And soundtrack. They're like,
A lot of it is the writing. I don't blame the actors.
yeah, but
Don't
I blame the
die.
directing. But I would say response value, there's a difference between positive response and productive response. So this obviously passes on positive response.
They
People
made millions of
freaking like
dollars.
this movie.
Oh, they love it.
They love this
There's a
movie.
I mean, everyone, a ton of people think it's their
2.5
favorite movie.
million
Too much.
reviews. Yes.
Too
So that's the thing is congrats, Christopher Nolan. You made money.
I
Being
think
a
it's a
bunch of
movie.
idiots.
I do think it's a
Yes.
movie.
Love this movie.
And
They're smart.
on the negative side of this, you made a lot of unbearable fans.
Yeah. Oh my.
It's a movie that makes people feel so good about themselves.
Yes, I think it simultaneously lowers IQ and highes opinion of their own IQ.
I feel like it caters to the arrogant.
Yeah.
Yes, it caters to the arrogant for sure, and the self-justifying.
Would you like to announce your red flag if you've not already said
Oh.
this before?
If
I haven't said this on the podcast yet, I don't think, but it's one of my deal breakers. Is if I ask someone like best movie of all time, and they say a Christopher Nolan film, because I think that means that you are weak to emotional manipulation.
Yeah, and you just sit for a second and then you remember Gladiator's a movie out there, guys.
Yeah, and your favorite movie is Interstellar.
Ow.
But this is something with Nolan that I've seen across all his movies. I think he's addicted to the wow factor. He loves having people go, whoa,
It works.
whoa, ah! And that he's just chasing that feeling all the friggin' time, and he won't stop. And he doesn't care
it makes sense.
if it's objectively built out of real material. He just needs the feeling. And this is the thing this is where he's a good director, technically.
he
Is
great
because
at actually
he is
evoking that.
amazing at getting what he's chasing.
Getting the emotional
So
responses.
so in the response value, this is where
If people
Christopher
aren't like
Nolan,
us with hearts of ice.
yes, this is where Christopher Nolan is most interested, is in the response value, because that is what he's chasing.
And it's
rather
what he's
than-
most good at.
Yep.
feeling.
So if you build something valuing that thing, the product on its own, the response happens. So you're like, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to make an amazing story. I'm going to use all of my resources, all of my ability, just to make the greatest story I can possibly tell. The response happens.
Sure.
And like we build a cathedral, people are going to go, whoa. That was not the point of building a cathedral, but it is a result of building a cathedral.
It's like a cathedral with a bunch of just like a jello parade inside. There's nothing
Yeah,
good.
no, I'm just saying, like, you build a cathedral, you're going to get the whoa. People are going to take photos, and you're going to get that response. But you can also get the whoa from much, much, much cheaper, less valuable thrills. So if you're chasing the whoa,
You don't have to use real gold. It just
Yeah.
has to be shiny.
it just has to be shiny. Exactly, that sort of thing. is you can build a great illusion. You can build a castle of Jello.
I do think this is really
And people will go, whoa! And I'm like, but it's
Stick
not.
their faces into it.
Stick their faces. And like, blah, 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 this is the best cathedral ever. It's made out of Jello.
the crap.
What are you talking about?
I was just gonna say, I think this is where we have to give Nolan credit.
Yeah.
Is he really hits what he aims for?
Yes, no, he does. But my point is the problem is that he's aiming for the response rather than building something that'll create a response.
Something beautiful and excellent.
So he's so good at making people go, whoa. But if you just stop and think for a sec, you'll be like, what just happened?
Like, just pause the movies.
Pause the movie. Think
Pause
for
a
a sec.
Christopher Nolan movie and just realize, like,
After every
We
plot
did do that
twist.
sometimes.
Yeah.
We're like,
We did. We were like, what?
think, just put your thinking cap on. Make sure it's on tight.
Yeah.
Realize how
But, like,
dumb some of the characters
The
are.
plot twists in Prestige
Oh, my word.
are so like, you're just like the actual tech.
I think he was probably laughing making that one. Like, he takes himself
Does he laugh?
seriously. Well, that's the one where I'm like, maybe he is just like,
Like he has to have been joking, right?
yeah, he's just like, this
He
is
will laugh.
It's like people are gonna think this is so good.
No, but it's that was one of the movies with the dumbest twists I've ever come across where I just stopped and I was like, you're kidding me.
honestly, this
You're kidding
this
me.
movie, some of the twists were really predictable.
Yeah, some of them were.
Predictable, unnecessary, without form. It depended on which twist you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a few.
But I'm just saying, when it comes to response value, he is so good at getting the response. But it's still, I would say, it's not a passing grade in response value because did not edify. This emotionally manipulated. This made people feel really good about themselves. It made them feel like they're really smart and they watch deep stuff.
See, it feels like an intellectual movie without being one. Mm-hmm. It's like, so there's not actually the substance and there's not actually like the thematic depth.
There was no intellect involved, but everybody feels intellectual having seen it.
Yeah, I love how they make it seem all sciencey, but then they'll just get a whiteboard and say, "We'll just slingshot around this black hole right here." Like,
Did you know that
no mathematics, no mathematics on that. It was
this is how
as another
this
dimension.
is how I felt
this
exactly
moving to the
when
science. now.
they're like sending the whatever formula through time, and I'm like, but they don't even say what it was
Yeah, what did they see in the black
when
hole?
they're talking about like
sending
solving gravity,
information.
right? They're sending information.
Solving gravity. But
It's like
they're sending information.
it's
that
not
they
clear
picked
at
up.
all, like how they're
Well,
going.
yeah, they were like, we need to
Well,
collect
'cause we can't
information
do
from
that.
We need to collect the information from inside the black hole. I'm like, what?
And also, what was
stuff?
the information?
You just fell in and you're like,
the robot
the
understood.
robot understands.
It's such a comment.
And so does Murphy.
Yeah,
And
I feel
like,
like we might have missed. Like, that might be a part where we didn't hear some comment earlier when they were
No.
talking about it.
no, they're just like,
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm not saying it makes sense. But I think they did justify it.
But no, this is how they justified it. I remember they're like, he solved the equation, but turns out you need more data. And like, from where? From the inside of a black hole. And it's like, why? What
Also,
kind of
what
data?
data?
What are we talking about? And then
Gravity and
they
time.
fell in the black hole. And he just is like, Tards, do you have the data? And Bro's like, yeah.
So we're definitely So this is the absolute lack of substance that we're getting here.
Figuring out how to harness gravity.
The like, they are us kind of talk.
Like,
That's when we're talking about false depth. It's
There's so
like
many good memes.
it's like we have an ankle deep swimming pool, but we dyed it a dark color. So it looks like that could be real deep.
basically.
And you step in and you're like, doesn't even fully cover my
Yeah.
feet.
When at first it was them. There's a vague aliens that we're not even talking about. Like, but we'll just
Them.
casually say
Also,
them.
I'm
They're
saying-
helping us.
For scientists, that is a huge mental leap to be like,
Not
this wormhole was put here by people on purpose.
well. First
And you're like,
it's people.
we've never
Aliens.
we've never observed a wormhole happening naturally, but maybe we just did. Maybe this is the first time we've seen a wormhole happen naturally. And then on top of that, I'm like, if it is a created phenomenon, why are you assuming that it was on purpose? And then for 3 is like, and you assume that the beings behind it are like conscious and purposeful beings who are putting it there for you. And I'm like, we're making so many huge
All right, so
leaps.
we're definitely moving out of the response value.
Yeah.
So response
We're
value,
still
you
talking
fail
about
it.
the wow factor.
Do you fail it on response value?
So, probably not. I think it's a big deal with how much money it made.
I think I'm with him.
No,
partially.
but that's
Talk
why
about,
I've
is it
given
good
2
for
categories.
should Christians? Yeah.
You
so
get
there's a difference.
points
I
for
think
the
that's
money.
moving into the third category. Is
Well, No, like
No,
how
it's still
do
in
Christians
response values.
respond.
How
to
did
this?
it affect you?
How do Christians often respond to this? And I
Sure.
I see several
I think-
articles and reviews that are like, why Interstellar is the greatest Christian movie ever made.
Well, yeah,
It's
the one
not.
I read was talking about how it really develops the three virtues of like faith, hope, and love.
And dramatically ignoring the intense materialism.
Yeah, but I would say among people I've talked to, it is kind of blinded some people, where they do just get in the shock and awe, the wow from Christopher Nolan, and think that the
Wowza.
science just like is fine. You can just make up stuff. You've talked about how it's easier to have fantasy be like go a little off the rails than sci-fi, where just because fantasy like it's already fantastical. But sci-fi, they're trying to make this thing seem realistic, like it could eventually happen, like it could work.
Yeah.
And yet, when these 5-dimensional beings who are the highly evolved human race created a 3-dimensional space
Out of time and gravity.
out of time and gravity,
But just
in
of
the
Murph's
past
room
for Matthew McConaughey
in the middle of a black hole
to
Murph.
communicate to Murph
by plucking,
by
the,
plucking
strings
the strings
of gravity.
over, like in this maze of time.
Why does
in a black hole?
why does plucking gravity over a watch change how the watch ticks?
He's pushing it. Pushing the little hand.
Don't think about
Don't-
it.
But she can take it
Now,
away.
any of the problems, that is
He's
not
like,
the one.
he's
I'm
like,
looking
I was like, that's
not
code.
the biggest
I'm gonna
issue here.
code the information from inside the black hole into a watch.
I was
Really
also
not the biggest
confused.
problem.
I would have a complicated formula, like a insanely complicated.
Yeah. Is there Morse code for like
Morse
x
code.
squared?
That's even like very basic, but there's so many.
Yeah, I'm like just like
things.
the most.
Like surely, like
Differential calculus,
solving gravity
like-
had to be complicated.
Like how would you?
Can you do calculus in Morse code?
I have no idea. I've never
Just ask
tried.
chat sometime.
No.
Anyways, so response
So
value.
you give it a passing grade for making money and not
I mean, we have to
for
give some
positive
grades,
effect on
okay,
people.
because we gave it like a 60.
Well, no, we gave it good visuals, bad material,
Made a lot
and
of money.
good capitalism, bad for humanity.
Yeah,
Bad for
I think
humanity.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's
I'll
fair.
stand by that.
Just live with that. We don't need to give a number. We're
So
passing
I feel like bad for humanity moves
Okay,
us into does God like
objective.
it?
Does God like Interstellar?
If we say it's bad for humanity, probably not.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fair guess, Amira.
I don't think the movie, like,
I thought it might
of
be a reach.
Interstellar will be in hell burning
here's
for
the thing.
eternity, but I don't
This
think
is
he loves it.
What the part of it that I think is not bad, like, is just it does demonstrate a lot of beauty,
It does.
Mm-hmm. and it does point you to the beauty of space and nature and that sort of thing, which is good.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know. I think
Intensely materialistic.
yes.
Like
Yeah.
very materialist, very evolutionist, very secular. Anybody who's trying to argue that it's not is watching it with their eyes closed
Here's
and
the thing.
ears blocked.
I think it's very funny because I feel like what brings people into, or like kind of deludes them into thinking it's not, is the emphasis on love as like
Yeah.
a solution.
love transcends
However,
space, time,
yeah, except for what they did is actually they made love into
material.
So it's like they were like, okay, so it's not a transcendent thing. It's actually a science that we just don't understand yet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Dr.
what if
Brand.
it's
You can-
what if it's tied to another
Which
dimension?
is the part that you really hated with Dr. Brand. So did I.
So did I.
we all hated it together.
Yay.
But yeah, this love is just a fundamental part of science because it's in everyone, but not necessarily tied to utility, which means that it's this like I'm like,
No, so she was like, actually, it
doesn't
does
make it
have
material.
utility. We just don't know it.
This is
Yes.
where I gave Cooper, Matthew
bet you can
McConaughey,
make an
points.
equation.
Okay.
Is when she gave her whole love rant, like, but it might just be a science that is actually rational that we just don't understand. And he was like, does that make me, well, she was saying, does that make me wrong? It might. Yeah.
That was peak.
No hesitation. We're going to the other planet,
However, when
And he was
he's
still wrong.
in the
But then
middle,
he was demonstrated as wrong,
yeah, he was wrong.
which I don't like.
right? I was
Clearly,
like,
that's showing me something.
Clearly,
that's
this
on
is a
accident. like-
rational thing. But like I said, I don't actually blame him for it because that was still him trusting Anne Hathaway.
Because they said Dr.
'Cause-
Man was the goat.
yeah, but
But
I think
the bigger thing that
the movie
was that
was showing
he was,
her as right there.
yep,
Which is bad.
which
Which
is
is
bad,
By the way,
which is
people.
bad because he very much converted to her side of the thing in the middle of the black hole, in our little wonderland in there,
Yeah. And some,
our shiny Rubik's cube of bedrooms.
yeah, and sometimes we can forget that.
Because he was doing the whole like love
Yeah,
transcends time
when
and
you're
space.
watching a movie and how the movie is creating a morality and a right and a wrong, not even necessarily morality, but just who's right, who's wrong. And you actually have to look at what it's saying there, because it's not just leaving it open.
Yeah, for
It is,
your
it is
interpretation.
displaying something.
Here's the thing: even if you say something's like doesn't have a solution, that is a solution.
Yeah.
Well, this is also, we've talked before about when it says something different than it does.
Yeah.
So,
Believe what it shows, not what it says.
yeah, so there's always going to be some kind of statement being made by a story. And this one is not a good one. It's also goopy, just saying. So it's materialist goop, which is the love transcends
so
time and
emotional.
space.
Very emotional.
Like love and human connection as this ultimate science is both emotional and irrational and stupidly materialistic.
It actually aligns with what we were just saying about like the intellectual like shallowness of the whole movie. Is it's like
The
oh,
angle
so
hole.
it feels all sciencey because we're like so actually it's a
but it's
science.
actually just feelings.
But it's like no, you're fully rooted in emotion. here.
It's also funnily justifying your irrational emotions. That you're like, you're like, what if? Bear
Hear
with
me
me.
out.
Hear me out. Hear me out. What if all of my just feelings are a sign of some higher existence of like truth? And so all of my irrationality reflects science. And you're like, no.
yeah. But
How
also,
about not?
also how when you talk about, and even Dr. Mann said this, there's some things you aren't supposed to know. And now there's things that you just won't know as humans. And yet they still solve the equation of gravity and like solve these things that we
With
don't know.
love and human connection.
Where it's like, no, everything
Through
is
time and space.
material.
Without any
we can
humanity in
see
the
it,
whole
we
film.
can calculate it, we can do all this. You eventually, when we're 5-dimensional beings, could rationalize and calculate
we're
love.
five-dimensional beings.
Yeah.
Because when we're 5-dimensional beings, we're definitely going to go back into the past and set up a Rubik's Cube of girls' bedrooms for her father to sort through. And code stopwatches.
See, we're into the science here, which made no sense.
Okay,
No,
there we
actually,
go. Now on
please-
science.
So-
Onto science. Please stop repeating time and gravity.
So
Like what they just, time,
our three categories:
gravity,
technical,
relativity.
kind of whiffed.
Yeah.
Even
Well, strong visuals,
Strong
low
visuals,
everything else,
low
low
everything else.
substance.
Soundtrack had
though,
ups.
response, yes, response value
Good capitalism, bad for humanity.
Yeah.
for humanity.
Objective.
Does God like it? No,
No.
No, it's stupid.
except for space because
For space, because he likes
He
space.
likes
And
space.
and
He doesn't like humans self-justifying all of their irrationality and pretending like all of his spiritual gifts are science.
And it's funny because it's like we like all the spiritual gifts. I think faith, hope, and love are great things, and we
Yeah.
Yeah,
have them.
we're big into them.
I do not think they're science.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can weigh them out, or even when we're fifth dimensional beings, I doubt you
Yeah.
can do any kind of like
I don't know why. Like the obsession with saying that gravity can cross dimensions.
See that's no.
Like, no, what?
See,
sorry.
Imagine telling Isaac Newton that.
and he's just like,
Bro, what are you talking about? But yeah, one more. You go.
I don't even like. I'm not a super sciencey
Yeah,
person.
neither am I.
It's not.
but I bet you can be
my
as better
best
than that.
field. This made no sense and was terrible science.
You just don't understand it. You just don't.
No one understands it. It didn't
No, but
mean
here's
anything.
the thing. Let's make a little comparison though, because let's look at the hypersleep. Can we do that?
Sure.
No,
get
no,
with that.
no. I'm saying we can't do that. However, I bought it. I didn't question it.
It's much more common and much.
It's just like no,
much
it's
easier to
not
understand.
just that it's common. There's just the simplicity of delivery is like we give it very clean visuals. We talk about it like it's not weird, and we just make it happen without over explaining in third grade reading level skills. So it's like that's there, it's happening.
Sure.
And I'm like, nice. I believe it. I'm not questioning.
Look at you not questioning.
I didn't question it when we had the weird, when the docking failed and blew up the ship. I sure did question it when we docked spinning, but
Yeah.
but I'm saying there are scientific things that we put in there.
Not work. At
There are scientific things that I'm like, okay, you can just do it and we're not going to question it. But all of this time gravity relativity talk was just really overdone.
Even the wormhole.
Because, like, it was even the wormhole where he's like, you see this point on the paper, and you see this point on the paper. I'm like, that's a grown man and an astronaut. He knows what a wormhole is. And I know what a wormhole is. It's not even a scientific term. It's just, we know what it is.
The problem was explaining without actually having any explanation.
Yeah, no, but the thing is,
It was just words.
they were over explaining everything, but over explaining them with the same words every time
Yeah.
that were really simple. We had no scientific terms thrown at us.
But that's
Which
because
made
there
it-
wasn't science.
Yeah, but we didn't even have any fake science backing it. So they kept explaining it, but they clearly hadn't thought of even a fake explanation.
See, that's like with the whole gravitational equation thing, where it's like we didn't even.
You didn't even give us the littlest glimpse of a fake
Well,
explanation.
because there's not one.
Yeah, you just were like, solve gravity. I'm like,
She's like, whoa.
genuinely,
missing
what do you mean solve gravity? What does that mean?
That's what they were asking the whole time.
What are we solving it for? What is this math equation? What are we doing once we've solved
so we can
gravity?
float up a massive space station off the Earth.
So we can just
harnessing-
undo
We
gravity,
can harness it. Yeah,
harness gravity.
that's what it was.
Also, just saying gravity and time are not comparable
But yeah,
at all. But same with the, like, she just kept on saying, relativity. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like,
She's
when
like,
you're
yeah,
doing
relativity really sucks, doesn't it? As she just wasted like 20 years on one planet.
23.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl.
But one more thing.
51 on rocketing by the black hole.
Something that you mentioned with people saying like it just represents human nature and all that. So this isn't really science anymore, but
That's not people, that's Christopher.
the only thing that, if looking at human nature, but by what standard human nature, you're looking at Professor Brand be like protecting himself from just being embarrassed. And then you're looking at Dr. Mann be on there like talking about evolution, and yeah, he's still selfish. Like they're both just selfish. It's like, what is it trying to say here? It's not trying to do a correct, like, men are fallen, we're all going to make this mistake. Like Matthew McConaughey still does it, and he doesn't die. He survives.
believe he
There's a lot of
survived.
incoherent things where it's just kind of following this fully
You think
evolution.
you can go through a black hole and just be chill
Yeah, that makes sense.
without a spaceship. You're just in a suit floating through a black hole, and we're just
Yeah,
chilling.
gravity clearly wasn't that bad in the black hole. It was very organized and structured.
Yeah, because even before he got to the organized thing, he's flying through this gravitational, and bro's just fine.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they did a suicide mission and didn't kill him.
After getting out of the spaceship, too, they rescued him when he was just floating around with like, oh, you had some more oxygen left. You were running out.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
And his daughter was like 100.
Also, I do want to give a little throwaway condemnation here, where it doesn't, because it's something that doesn't make any sense in the movie, but we don't think about it because it does make sense in our worldview,
Okay.
which is a connectivity between all humankind.
Yes.
So this is something
Save humanity.
where
Why?
especially the Plan B thing of which it doesn't work. If you think through the practical side of Plan B, the way that it wouldn't work. But booyah, it worked off screen. Hopeful, like, thank heavens. But it doesn't make any sense in a materialistic, secular worldview to want the preservation of the species entirely separate from the current people. Like, it's not even saving the world for our children. It's saving the world for these fermented eggs that I shot into space.
See, this is actually something that I can give credit to, crazy environmentalists. Or they're like, why is humans, worth more than plants? Or like,
Because at least it's consistent.
Because I'm like, I mean,
Kind of out.
I was like, there's actually some consistency there that this movie is lacking. And I'm not saying they're perfectly consistent, because if it's truly materialistic, then we shouldn't have to save the trees either. Because none of it really matters.
Because the moment you're dead, your connection to Earth is completely
But
severed.
like, I get it, because
Like,
they're
why
like,
would
no.
you give a rip?
They're like, okay, so I like grizzly bears more than I like people. Therefore, save the grizzly bears.
See,
And I'm like,
that's irrationality.
yeah, but I'm like, I mean, it makes more sense than being like, no, we owe something to humanity.
Fundamentally, humans
If you don't
need to
have
exist
anything-
somewhere.
Because we're like
Yeah.
kind of smarter.
I'm like, but if you don't have anything transcendent involved, there's no image of God. There's no reason.
In the survival of the fittest evolutionary situation, I'm like, why do people have to survive?
Yeah, I'm like, if they die out, they die out.
So yeah, that definitely is points to the climate activists for consistency that most people, well, just you don't.
You're wrong.
You
It's
don't
not like-
really encounter atheists who connect that dot right there. That where you're
Wow, so many things are so evil. Atheists
Where you're
always
like-
say that.
Like, from by what standard?
by what standard? Why does it matter?
It
Why
hurts
do we?
people.
Why do we care?
Why
Like,
does
but
that matter?
why would I care? Because in a truly materialistic world, I don't care about me, myself, and I, and the people that I might like personally.
Which is why McConaughey, like, setting out to save his family
Yeah, I like that.
makes
It's-
more sense.
Yeah, which is
like
it's
that.
good that we have that because otherwise the movie would have just been like, ooh, whatever.
Then he ended up doing both.
Wow. Nailed it.
Anyways,
Murph was just weirdly
Any
emotional.
other
I can't get over it.
Do you have any other thoughts? I was like, I feel like 5.5.
We didn't
can't
talk
do the
about
whole
everything,
movie in your
but
mind again.
Yeah, like rolling through it. It's way too long to roll through it.
Yeah, it was long.
It was very long.
We watched 2 3-hour movies in 1 week.
oh my
That
god,
was way too much.
That's a lot of screen time.
it was.
Trying to hit our quota.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
See,
Yeah, overall, I was not a fan. And I feel like it should not be your favorite movie.
yeah,
Especially if you're a Christian and you actually believe in objective facts. If you're not, you don't have at it.
oh, but I will say, I do think. No, this is very gracious of me. You're allowed to enjoy it
you can like things about it.
because, well, I'm just.
Like,
You can't like. You lose me when it's your favorite movie. You lose me even more when you think it's one of the best movies ever made.
You think it makes sense?
Then you're just an idiot.
Then you're not. But it is the sort of thing where I'm like, if you like the music, you like the visuals, you enjoy the premise. Like, yeah, no, I have no fault with
Like I
people
said,
for
he's
enjoying it.
actually good at making vibes.
But I'm just saying we do have the distinction here that we try to make. That it's like when we hate on something, there are things where I'm like, don't watch. There are things that
You
like
can watch this.
there's something wrong
Oh,
with
yeah,
you for
there's
liking
something
it.
filthy with
And this is like
Might
there's
be a waste of time.
definitely it might be a waste of time in my opinion, but I can see someone enjoying it. What I don't want people to do is enjoy it blindly, being led by their feelings.
Or you like just don't think it's a Michelin star dish.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's like
enjoy that hamburger.
it's like I might watch The Dark Knight because I like the Joker,
Yep,
Yeah,
Heath
because Heath Ledger nails it.
and a lot of the other stuff is just crap. And Lego Batman's significantly better, anyways. So I don't know why I would waste my time. Yeah, Lego Batman's fantastic.
Lego Batman is
Shout out to Lego Batman.
Shout out.
We were referencing that last night when we were watching Interstellar.
Well, yeah, you said you would prefer a guy who had that as
No,
the favorite.
because we started with logos. Every movie starts with logos.
Yeah.
Like every great
Anyways,
movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
is that
I
it?
was so much more
I
gripped
feel
by
like
Lego
this is it.
Batman.
Like,
Thank you guys so much for having me.
thank you for coming.
Second time I've ever done it in person, so it was good.
Thanks for coming and croaking on the podcast.
We appreciate it. It's boring just to listen to us all the time.
Yeah. We are pretty boring, it's true.
Alrighty.
Peace out, everybody. Fare thee well.
Haven't seen violence inherent in the system? Help, help, I'm being repressed, bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Do you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?